John, that's a T-shirt we can make too.
Yes, it is.
Them
Welcome to
folks-
Stories of Brisco and Bradshaw.
Are you going to start or what?
That would be your talkative, loud, Oklahoma native, Chickasaw native, Chickasaw Hall of Famer, Oklahoma's favorite son, Mr. Gerald Brisco. And we got the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame member. We got the greatest phrase I think ever. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. And a punter that had one of the greatest legs since Ray Guy. We know that because he kicked he kicked a baby one time on television.
That's going way back, Ray Guy.
It is. Mr. Gene Snitsky. Gene, welcome to the show. Hey,
Thanks
Ray is going way back. What a punter Ray was. That's when they first started talking about the hang time.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously that's his thing. He was, you say Ray Guy, pretty much everybody knows he was a punter. It's crazy.
Yeah. And you were a punter as well, which not just on babies, but you were actually a punter, right?
Ironically, I was my junior year of high school at Panther Valley High School. I was the punter, and I was all area punter. I averaged 37.8 yards a punt in high school. So ironically, it's a joke with all my buddies I played football with, because everybody knows about the infamous baby punt at WWE. So it's like, we kind of joke about it. Like, hey, who would have figured all those years later you would have been kicking babies on WWE?
How big were you in high school?
Did you hit your average with the baby though?
Well, I was going more for height. I was trying to hit the Titantron thing above the ring, and it just kind of kept going. And here we are 21 years later talking about it. So
we've never had a baby punting expert on before, so we got to ask you: is there a key to punting babies?
Well, similar to football, where you want to keep the laces up, you want to keep the head up. So,
So is it all in the baby drop? Is that the key?
Exactly. It's all angles, John. It's all physics.
Physics. Have a Gene Snitsky. Gene Snitsky.
What? He was a little before me.
Who do we have today? He was a punter too. Gene was anyway. Or Kelly was.
So Gene, how big were you in high school? Your junior year?
My senior year of high school for football, I was about 240. 6'6".
So we're guys like I ain't rushing the punter. I just ain't doing it. That some bitch is too big. I ain't rushing him.
Well, I mean, all our guys at the time were pretty good sized guys. I think our offensive line averaged over 200 pounds. So for high school back in those days, that was pretty big. Because I come from a small school. We're single A, small coal region school in Pennsylvania. 4 towns made up my high school. So we had 400 some students in the whole high school. My graduating class was like 130, 132, something like that. So
did you punt your senior year?
No, I was just I played offensive tackle, defensive tackle, and all the special teams, but I didn't punt.
Why did you not punt?
I don't know. I
had
don't
a
really
better
remember,
punter.
No, well, he was an all-conference punter. He didn't have a better punter. He's the best punter in the conference.
Yeah, somebody moved in, John.
Yeah,
Kerwin Surfers moved in from Allentown.
I was kind of focused on just getting a scholarship and getting off to college. So I didn't have aspirations to be the world's largest punter.
You're what, 6'5", 6'6"? What are you?
6'6". Well, about 260, 265 right now.
So you were a huge punter at that time, and not exactly in the height, but in the weight. So
all things considered.
Did you play basketball too while you were in high school?
Oh yeah. Ironically, I'm one of the only guys, I think there's 3 of us, that was all first team, all anthracite football and basketball. Because where I grew up in Pennsylvania, like the coal region thing's big. And they have like an all anthracite team and all that kind of stuff. So I was first team on that in basketball and football. One of the, I think 3 guys to ever do it. So. But I played. Ironically, I was the starting center for the Keystone State games for the Northeast region of Pennsylvania as a 6'6" white guy. So
wow,
a lot of elbows being thrown.
A lot of elbows. So here you are. You're a Pennsylvania guy, but you end up out there in the Midwest for the Missouri Tigers. There, how did that happen?
Well, at the time, Woody Woodenhofer was the head coach at Missouri, and he had created the steel curtain for the Steelers. So he was a Pittsburgh guy, and he would come out all the way from Missouri to watch me play basketball. And I was like, man, this guy, come to my house with the 4 Super Bowl rings on and, hanging out at my house till 4 a.m, boozing with my mom and dad. And I was like, man, this
Really?
guy.
Wait a minute. Really? He would sit there and have drinks with your folks?
Oh, yeah.
That's a hell of a recruiter.
Oh, he was awesome. He would come he'd be at our house till 3, 4 a.m. And my mom and dad, they loved him. It was great. I could literally remember him leaving at 4:30 in the morning. I got to catch a flight at Allentown at 7.
Was he the highest profile coach that ever came to your house?
To my house, yeah. But
John, how about you, John? When you were being recruited, would you have any high profile coaches come to your house?
No, not to the house. I went to visit Wacker in TCU when Jack Wacker was the big coach. Everybody thought he was going to be the next big coach, and then TCU got put on probation and kind of got screwed. Spike Dykes out of Texas Tech, but no, I committed to Abilene Christian pretty early because that's where my dad wanted me to go. So I never did. Okay. I didn't go to University of Texas. I had offers to go down there and visit, and offers to go to Nebraska and Oklahoma, and but didn't go.
Yeah, I took a lot of recruiting trips, but I didn't. I went to Penn State for a recruiting trip. I went to Temple. And then I had one scheduled for Clemson and Syracuse, but I canceled those ones after going to Missouri.
Wow. Did you have basketball scholarships also, Dan?
Yeah. I could have played Division I basketball or football, but I figured as a 6'6" white guy, I wanted to be a professional athlete. So my chances in football were better than basketball. So I opted for football and focused on that. Yeah. So.
But you played baseball too, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow.
How good were you in baseball?
Ironically, baseball was my best sport.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. I played first base. I pitched. Yeah, I was a really good baseball player. My dad played in the Air Force baseball team, so it kind of trickled down to me.
Could you hit the ball a mile?
Oh, yeah. I think I might still have the farthest home run in the history of the school.
That's awesome. You know, Braun Strowman's dad was the famous crusher.
Yeah, big softball guy. Yeah.
Legendary softball guy. Hit a softball out of Shea Stadium one time, Met Stadium.
That's crazy.
Yeah, back when slow pitch softball had a professional league, it was pretty cool back then.
Yeah. No, I've seen the reports on it, and I've researched it, and that's crazy, dude. I mean, his dad's a pretty big guy too.
His dad's a huge guy. I met him back when he was playing softball. One of my friends, Woody Belt, on the slow pitch softball team, they were world champion. And they played what was that team out of Pennsylvania all the time? But it was called Belcorp that Woody had, and Gene's brother, his dad played for the other team there, and so. I went to a tournament up in Atlanta one time, and they were playing his dad's team, and I actually met the guy. Woody was those guys were making all kinds of money. They were making about $1,000 a game back in those days.
Well, John knows, you guys know, the amount of torque to hit a softball that far in Shea Stadium. I mean, that's all the power comes from your hips. That's crazy.
Right, and it's all power because it's not. Yeah. You're not getting anything off the ball. You're not having, a guy throw 100 mile an hour pitch at you. I mean, it's a slow pitch ball with tons and tons of spin to try to get you not to hit it out of the park.
Exactly. It's easier. I mean, not easier, but it's more statistically probabilities of hitting a home run in baseball. Because like you said, the ball is coming at you 100 miles an hour. And if you hit and make good contact, it's going to take off.
And those guys in slow pitch softball, those pitchers were so freaking good. I mean, they could make a ball curve 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a shorter distance from the mound to the batter's box too, right?
Yeah, it is. And there were no balks, so they could fake a pitch and throw it a different way. It was fun watching. I kind of wish slow pitch softball was still around because that was fun.
I remember watching it on ESPN one time. That was a big thing there for a while.
It was huge for a while. Everybody was playing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we played a lot of wiffle ball when I was a kid. We had like teams of wiffle ball, and we had like a wiffle ball stadium in my one buddy's backyard. That was always fun too.
And when you got to Missouri, you got to play for Andy Reid, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
How was Andy Reid? I've always thought he'd be one of the most fun coaches to play for.
He actually one time told me, Snitsky, if you don't end up in the NFL, you're going to end up in jail. That's his words. So luckily I found WWE instead.
Yeah.
Have you
take
ran?
us on that journey? Take us on that journey. How did you find WWE?
Well, I was starting to get interested. Well, my ultimate plan was to go as far as I could in football, play some pro football, and then get into wrestling after that. Because I grew up like right outside of Allentown, and WWE is a hotbed here. They had the tapings at Ag Hall every week, Hamburg Fieldhouse, like I said, and I was just always a wrestling fan as far back as I can remember. And like I always wanted to pursue football as far as I could, and then get into wrestling after that. So when I retired from pro football in '95, I started fiddling around with wrestling in '96. And then I got latched up with the Samoans in Allentown and trained with Alpha. And then, went out on tour with his son, Samu, Lloyd. They kind of took me under their wing and developed me. And I was out for a whole month, my very first tour with those guys, breaking me into business. So that's kind of how that happened.
And where were you the first month when you were out? Was all around Pennsylvania?
No, we were overseas. We did a military base tour. We were like everywhere: Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Turkey, Bahrain, Qatar, South Korea, Hawaii. I was gone for 28 days. My very first wrestling tour, and I worked Samu every match, and he beat the shit out of me because I knew you had to earn. I mean, back in those days, it was all about respect, and like I took a beating every night, and I knew not to complain, because once you complain, then it's you know what they do to you when you start complaining. Yeah. Anyways, so I started, with those guys, and just took my beating and learned as, much as I could from those guys. And I was just a sponge, man. But I got to develop a really close relationship with Lloyd and Sam. And I was in Lloyd's wedding, and I got presented with the lava and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was pretty awesome experience.
And you went to Afghanistan before the war.
Yeah. Yeah, we hit one of the bases, just like a handshake, meet and greet kind of thing. We didn't do a show. We just stopped to say hi to the troops,
That's pretty cool. So you were there before the war, and you were also there during the war.
Yeah, yeah.
What
Yep.
what was it like when say in the '90s when you were there?
Well, they gave us like a quick tour to the air tower, the control tower. That's kind of where we were, like a little handshake thing, met the generals and all that kind of stuff. But we were in and out because they didn't want they considered it a target, and they didn't, as entertainers, they didn't want a chance getting, blown up or anything. So it was like an in and out. We were only there a couple hours, but it was just, my brother was in the military, my dad, and just to see it firsthand how guys, live over there was an eye-opening experience. And then when you and I went back for the Tribute to the Troops show over there, like, man, when we were going around to all the different, spots to meet the troops, it was just crazy how they had those guys living over there. So I've always had a lot of respect for the military, but after that tour, like it went up tenfold after that.
Yeah, because it's such an inhospitable place. They make it as nice as they can for them, and they spend a ton of money making it as nice as they can. But it's still just the place sucks. I mean, it's a horrible place.
Yeah, it was. It is, but like I look back in hindsight, and I'm so glad that that you started all that and that we got to go, because nobody ever gets to really see it firsthand,
right?
And we did, so that was pretty cool.
And your store there is all based off military, right?
Yep. Yeah, we have it's Priority 1 surplus.
Tell us about your store. I know we're jumping all over the place, but tell us about your store.
Well, we're located in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, like I said earlier. I don't know if that was on film or not, but we're at 1744 Tilden Ridge Plaza in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. And we have all the guys that work here are Army guys. My John, who started the company, his son is an Army Ranger. He works here now with us. And he just when did he get back? 2 years ago? 3 years ago? 3 years ago. And this is Ben. Ben, come say hi.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, man.
How you doing, man?
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Good.
He's an Army guy. 8 years?
8 years, yep.
So he was in for 8. Jeff was in for 6. Jonathan was in for 5, 6 as well. Yeah. And Aaron, the other guy who works here, he just retired after 20 years.
And what's
So
the
you
main
got-
things you sell?
Oh man, we sell a little everything. We sell survival stuff, camping gear, clothing, collectible military stuff, knives, ammo, mags, boots, vest, plate carriers. We dabble in a little everything.
Do you sell guns?
We don't have an FFL. Too much of a headache, too much of a paper trail, too much,
But you can sell ammo.
Oh yeah, we sell a ton of ammo.
So,
Rick, you know who JBL is, don't you? My buddy, the wrestler, JBL from the
Who?
WWE. Come here. This is a really good friend of mine too. He shops here with us all the time. He's a good guy. Say hi.
Hi, how
How's it
are you
going?
doing?
How you
That's
doing?
let me move my thumb so they
It's
can
my
see it.
brother that's a wrestling night.
He's one of the best customers here. He's awesome. He takes
Awesome.
He's always stops by. A good guy. He helps my mom out too. He takes her over to do some shopping and stuff. So it's cool. He's a good guy.
Pleasure to
But
meet you.
he's a local guy. Comes by all the time. So
Great.
Did have a shop too.
and he had a military surplus shop back in the day as well. So
Yeah, wow.
and from what I hear, he has a hell of a sword collection. He's a big German collector. He has all kind of stuff.
Also,
And Civil War, yeah. So we get them all here, buddy. It's a cool setup. We
I got this sword in Iraq.
oh cool. Check this out. Look at that.
I guess I just saw it on the map.
See it?
Yeah, check the hand. What's the handle? Is that ivory?
I don't
Ivory?
think it is. It looks like ivory, but I
Well,
bought it for
bone and
$100.
ivory looks pretty much the same, but
So I don't think it is.
How much did you pay for it?
$100.
It's probably not then.
I wouldn't think so. No, because it's too cheap.
It is cool.
It
though.
looks just
How
like
long is
ivory.
it?
It looks old like ivory, but
Rick's
I don't
the
think
sword
it is.
expert, man. This guy, he knows the ins and out about all that stuff.
Because of what I paid for it, I don't think it is.
well,
It's hard to tell.
yeah, I know.
It's cool though.
It looks like a scimitar with the diamond, like the Marine Corps
Okay.
officers.
Well, there you go. You got a little insight on it.
There you go.
I'm not even gonna send you a
Is
bill
there a
for that one.
maker's name on it?
Exactly.
Is it stamped with a name at all, John?
Maker's name?
No, it's not. It's no, the sheath kind of doesn't fit very well, so it's kind of hard to take out.
Gotcha.
No, it's not stamped.
Probably a
bought it from
replica.
I bought it from some local Bedouin guy who, claimed it was some old thing. Who knows if it is or not? It couldn't.
Oh, it's cool. It's nice collectible, anyways.
Yeah, it was a great
You-
collectible.
Yeah.
You can
So,
always
we're
tell
here.
that. You
What-
can always tell everybody it was inside that terracotta warrior got behind you too, though.
That's right. That's right. And I've got my other swords behind me.
Yeah, I see that. That's cool. And one of these days, I'll get over to Rick's house. He has a big collection. He always invites me over, but just haven't had a chance to go check it out yet. He's got all kind of stuff, man. Like
Some of Hitler's stuff.
he has some actual Hitler items and stuff too. Yeah,
Wow.
Really?
oh yeah, yeah. He's like, I can't even imagine the collection. He tells me about it, and I'm just like, wow. But this is my podcast, not yours. Get lost.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
Nah, Rick's great. He's one of my favorite guys, man. He's a good guy.
So Gene, you spent a month on the road going all over the world wrestling the same guy as Sam, one of a great guy to wrestle and a great guy, period. And
Yeah.
what happens then?
So then I got back to Pennsylvania and I went full-time training at his dad's camp in Allentown, the Wild Samoan Pro Wrestling Training Center. And Alpha took me under his wing and I started doing shows, for the WXW, which was their federation at the time. And just, as they used to say, John, paid my dues.
They used to say.
You're in the WXW Hall of Fame now, right?
Yes, I was in the inaugural class, which I'm very honored because, Pops is a WWE Hall of Fame guy, trained a lot of wrestlers over the years. And to be considered in that category is, quite an honor.
It is.
And where was there available back then? So this is like in the middle of the Attitude Era, right? You're just starting wrestling, just starting to get hot. That's correct, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like late 90s, early 2000.
Yeah,
Around
so
there.
wrestling is starting to get hot.
Oh, yeah.
Most places. And where was there to work? I mean, obviously, I know the big three. ECW was kind of having trouble, about to go out of business. WWE was, taking off with Stone Cold and The Rock, and WCW was, unfortunately on the downside at that point. So, but where was there available to work?
Well, that was that was it for the big companies. But Pops, like I said, had his own federation, and we would travel around and do stuff for him. Like we did shows in Pittsburgh, Connecticut, New England, Jersey. Like we had a lot of spot shows for being an independent federation, and we had a television deal with a station in Allentown. So it got a lot of visibility. But I would do like the USWF back in the day, like ISPW. Like there's a lot of smaller indie federations in the area. So, but I basically let Pops guide me and I did mostly for him, but a couple things here and there. But I mean, just look at the lineage of the Samoans. I wasn't going to question Pops about, hey, can I go do this show or can I go do that show? I was pretty much his guy, and wherever he wanted me to be, I was at.
It's amazing the amount of Islanders that are so good at wrestling.
Crazy. I was just telling a
like
story
an abnormal
about
amount. It's like how good they are in rugby. They're.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
I was literally just telling somebody yesterday at the shop about Umaga, and I used to travel with Umaga, and I was like, man, he was probably the most athletic one of them all, and he was like 6'3", 400 pounds, and could do everything.
Anything,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know he played high school football barefoot?
No way.
Yeah, seriously. He didn't get used to shoes. And so here you had this big 240-pound Samoan fullback barefoot. Now, can you imagine lining up and seeing that? You're like, dude, I'm not playing. That's it. I'm going to play next week. I'm not playing this week.
Yeah. There's no shoulder pads or helmet that are going to help you in that situation.
No.
No.
As a recruiter, I always told WWE to hell send them in these damn college wrestling events. Buy me a place down in the Samoa Islands down there. Set me up down there. I'll stay there year round, and I'll recruit the biggest, best athletes in the world. That's all you got to do is go down there, and man, there must be great athletes on every street corner down there. Not only wrestling business, but football, every sport, every contact sport. Those guys excel in somehow. So.
Well, look at Samu. Samu was a tag team champion at 18 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like when I was 18, I was worried about what college I was going to go to. He's wrestling at Madison Square Garden as a tag team champion. It's crazy. And that's who I got to learn from. How do you beat that? Yeah.
So when did you first start getting the call from the WWE? Was it a series of calls or was it one call? What happened?
Pops got me a dark match in October of 2003, or 2003 rather. So then I went and did a dark match up at Wilkes-Barre, at the arena in Wilkes-Barre. And it's funny because, like, how back in the day they'd have the agents and they'd have the board with the match and then the agent. Well, I can still remember, like, checking out the board at Gorilla and it said Snitsky, Suede, agent, Alpha. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, how cool is that? So he was actually the agent of the match as well.
Yeah.
So I did that dark match in 03 in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And then Johnny called me April of 2004 that I got signed. And it's funny because I was living with my parents at the time because as a struggling wrestler, I think I had $10 in my pocket and I was sitting at my mom's in my underwear and Johnny called me. And I was literally running around the house in my underwear. And my mom's like, what the hell's the matter with you? I'm like, I just got signed to WWE.
Awesome.
It was like I won the lottery. It was funny. I'm in my underwear running around the house, and my mom's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So when
you and John have something in common. He probably run around in underwear all the time in Texas, but his tryout match where he got hard was in Pennsylvania also. And where was it?
Where at?
It was Bethlehem.
Bethlehem.
Oh, okay.
Bethlehem.
Yeah, Stable Arena. That was Stable Arena back in the day.
That's
right.
Cool. It was a statewide emergency because of snow. And so there's only like probably 200 or 300 people there. So they put them all on one side of the ring and they put me out there with Savio Vega. And I come back and no one said a word to me. I mean, not a word. I mean, not a freaking word. Right. So I thought, well, shit, I'll go home. So I get my stuff and go in the shower and in walks Mr. Brisco and JJ Dillon. And Jerry had seen me work and he went and told Vince. He said, "We need to sign this kid. He's going down to WCW tomorrow." And Vince didn't even see me. Nobody saw me. Jerry's the only one that saw me. And
That's
Jerry
great.
said, "Well, if you think you should sign him, sign him." So Jerry got J.J. Dillon, who probably didn't see me either, and went down and got me in the shower and said, "We want to sign you." So that's why I
great.
got signed.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer everything happens for a reason, man. And I was just like, I was at the stage of my career where, you're trying to pay your dues, trying to get experience. I was bouncing at clubs to make extra money and traveling to wrestle. And, like I said, literally had $10 to my name. I was borrowing money to get protein powder. I had a comp membership at the gym because my buddy owned the gym. And it was like, I'm doing this. If I gotta die trying, I'm gonna make it no matter what happens. That was my mindset.
And where did you go first? When Johnny signed you, what was the first assignment?
I moved out to Louisville, the OVW, and started training out there in June of 04.
And who was there then?
The trainers then were DeMott and Lance Storm. They were the two guys. Lance worked with the smaller guys, and Bill worked with the bigger guys. And then we'd stay. They had a big guy class afterwards where we'd do stuff with like me, Lashley, Beast, Matt Morgan was there, Kevin Furtag. So we'd do like our own little thing after class too. So it was awesome, man. I was just like, I went into it with the mindset, I'm just going to be a sponge and try to absorb as much as I can and learn as fast as I can. And, I was fortunate because I caught on fast. I was always an athlete. I considered myself, a top tier athlete, and I knew I could do it. So it was just, getting there and learning the way WWE wants you to do it. So,
right.
When you first saw Bobby Lashley there, what were your thoughts? Man, this is my competition. This guy I got to get through, or what was your
I don't really ever look at anybody as competition. It sounds kind of weird, but like, I'm a pretty confident guy. I don't look at it from that perspective. Like, I'm a certain look, like when you see me, you don't think like, run of the mill guy on the street. So I stand out. I have a certain look. I was pretty confident that I was going to make it on my own ability. I didn't really consider having any competition.
Wow. Good attitude.
And so was Cornette there, or was that one of the times?
No, Cornette was there. Cornette was there. And a funny story, when I did the angle with the baby and Glenn and Lita, I remember coming back to OVW and he said, "You're never going to be on OVW television. I don't want a baby killer on my show."
Was he serious?
Yes. I'm like, it's wrestling. Come on, man. Like,
just because you punted a baby?
Well, because when I hit Glenn and then he fell on Lita and had the miscarriage, he's like,
"Oh, that's right."
The fans started chanting "baby killer," and he's like, every time they'd see me at the arena, they'd start to chant "baby killer." He's like, "I can't have that on my TV show." So
now, did you kill the baby you punted too?
It's not my fault, John. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I have to say.
What kind of feedback did you get with your family and friends on that? That's one of the greatest moments in my opinion.
Yes. There are very few things I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of that.
Well, I'm flattered because I respect the hell out of you. I always looked up to you. We worked together on tag teams. We used to do those 6-man tags after Raw.
Yeah.
And I always enjoyed working with you. And Mr. Brisco goes without saying, one of my favorite agents ever. And to hear that from you guys, you made my day.
What kind of feedback did you get from your family and friends on the baby punt?
Oh, they loved it. They know my personality. I was always like a clown kind of guy.
It is
so they were like
freaking good.
Yeah, they're like that figures because that's just me because I didn't think anything of it. I was just having fun,
Of course.
I've rewatched that thing about maybe a dozen times since yesterday, just get my kicks off of it there. But you line that up just like you're doing a Super Bowl punt, man. You're holding that baby, and it's perfect how you're holding the baby. I mean, you almost think the baby's real, and then one time you put the microphone up to it, and our crack truck people put a little baby whimper in it. So it sounded like the whimper to come out of the microphone where you're holding the baby there. you started giving to Lena. No, it's mine, it's mine.
You
Then
can't have him. He's
you stood back,
mine.
you can't have him. Then you stood back and oh no, is he really? Man, you look out there, you measured it up, you dropped it just perfect where the foot hit the baby just perfect, man. And that damn baby took off, and everybody, he didn't just kick that baby. Yeah, that's
That was great.
awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Like looking back on it, like I said, I was just having fun. I'm like, this is great. Like, and now 21 years later, we're still talking
Yeah.
about it, and people still get excited
Yeah.
talking about it. It's crazy to me, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry,
There's no way.
Jerry,
There's no. Okay.
Jerry, wait a minute. You said he kicked the baby perfectly. Is there an incorrect way to kick the baby?
Yeah, there is in the head. He didn't kick it. In the head. You don't want to go all blitz combobulated through the air, man. You want to hit
It's
it
fun.
perfect.
You know what, John? It's strangely hard to kick a baby. I'm just saying. Like if somebody tries to duplicate it, like we do baby punting contests now, and it's like I watch people try to kick a baby doll, and it warms my heart to see how good mine was compared to how shitty theirs are.
Well, it goes back to your high school days of being that all conference punter, man.
Well, like I said, man, I was I'm a big character. I have the weirdest sense of humor. I'm a sarcastic guy. I'll bust your balls about anything. John knows we used to bust everybody's balls about everything. And yeah, so it was very fitting. Like I was just having a blast. A funny story though, while we're talking about it, I remember walking through it with Vince, and Vince says to me, "Whatever you do, don't fuck it up." And I said, "Mr. McMahon, I was an all-area punter in high school. It's going to be amazing." He just shook his head.
How can the thing about it is, how do you fuck up kicking a baby?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
I don't know. I didn't fuck it up, so I don't know.
Is there any such thing? He shake the baby. He shake the baby.
Well, I mean, these days they try to cancel me if that happened again. But I think it's funny
no.
because there was a handful of people that were like, "Was that a real baby?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Are you kidding me? Come on, man. Come on, man." Yeah.
So what was the first thing? So when you're in OVW and you're down there training, you got DeMont, your trainer, and Cornette is down there. I love Corny. He's just the
That was
best.
great. He's awesome.
He is. He goes on rants that somehow make sense, and he goes on rants for like 5 minutes. He's like a brilliant dude.
I could have never imagined it unless I saw it with my own two eyes. Because, like you said, he'll turn yelling at someone into a 20-minute dissertation. It's crazy.
And somehow it makes sense in the end.
Yeah.
Like most guys yell and curse, and then at the end just go, "Oh, fuck you," and walk
Oh,
off.
John, it's kind of like a bar fight, John. Remember, you get in a bar fight and the crowd would just disperse. That's how it was when Cornette would yell at people. If he was yelling at somebody, all the rest of the guys would just disperse. And you'd just be over there like laughing to yourself in the corner as he ripped him a new asshole. It was great.
Yeah, Cornette is a national treasure. He's like Mr. Brisco.
Yeah. He's the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Cornette. Dude, the way my career ended up going, I couldn't be more happy to have run into him and you guys and get to work with Alpha. Like, I couldn't have wrote it up better.
Was Rip Rogers there when you were up there training?
He was, but he was handling the non-contract guys. He would do the non-contract class. So all the people that were under contract at WWE, we were with Storm or Bill, and then the non-contracts were with Rip.
Yeah, I walked by. I was walking through the thing where I saw you last, and somebody slapped the shit out of me. I mean, slapped the shit out of me in the back, and I turned around. It was Rip Rogers. He's the only one standing there. And I guess he felt compelled. I'm going to hit him as hard as I can. This is going to be fun. But it's Rip, so I don't care.
Dude, I saw him last week up in Indianapolis. When I saw you in Vegas, the next weekend I went to the one in Indianapolis, and I was talking to him there. Oh my God, I can't even talk about the stuff that we discussed.
Wow.
He's out there, man. He's one in a gazillion.
One in a gazillion.
What a great trainer he is, though. He's a fantastic trainer. Yeah,
It's a very unique very unique personality you have there with that guy.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I
that's the
agree.
best
I
way
love
could
I
put it.
love Rip.
Yeah.
So what when you got to OVW now, you're training there. When did you first get the call to come up to WWE, and who was it that called you?
Well, Finley had come down to OVW to work me out on a Wednesday. I want to say I started on TV in September, so this must have been in like the end of August, maybe. So we're working out, we're doing all these drills. Then I start doing matches, and he has me working matches like, a body part, work a shoulder one match, work a back, then a leg, then a neck, and blah, 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 blah. Dude, I must have wrestled 60 matches that day. Shit you not.
Wow.
So get done doing it. Fitz like, oh, good job. If we need you, we'll be in touch. I'm like, okay, great. Like, you know how it was back then. Nobody told you shit.
Right.
So I get done doing it. Well, it was either Saturday night or Sunday morning. I got the call from Howard, Mr. Snitsky. We're going to send you to Seattle. Oh, okay, great. So he gives me all my travel. I fly up to Seattle on Sunday, go to the TV hotel. Still don't know what I'm doing. I go to the event, and I'm just chilling and catering because I'm like, I don't know anybody yet. I'm just there. I'm sitting there waiting to find out what I'm doing. So I'm sitting in catering, just, doing my thing. And Dean Malenko came up to me and he's like, they need you out at the ring. I'm like, okay. So go out to the ring, walk through the whole thing with Glenn and Lita and blah, blah, blah. So like, I literally had no idea what I was doing until I got out to the ring.
And your first thing you did was with Glenn and Lita?
Yeah. I never had a dark match. I never did anything.
Wow.
They just threw me out there. But you know how it is in football, John. They give you the ball. You either score a touchdown or you fumble. So
And
I was
then
scoring a touchdown.
that's really unusual for them too, because Vince usually when he puts a guy in a position, especially with one of his top guys like Kane was at the time, and the top storyline that guy Kane and Lita were at the time, there he wants to make sure that that whoever he puts these guys in the ring with, they can uphold their end of it. So the confidence level in you had to be through the roof for them to just go out there. And all right, you're with Kane there.
Well, I'm assuming Fit went back to the office and put a really good word in for me because, like I said, he had me do everything under the sun. I had to have wrestled like what seemed like 60 matches that day. And, obviously I impressed him enough to where he had the confidence in me to put me in that position. And, the rest, like they say, it's history. Because it was crazy. I never had a dark match. I never did anything. Like I was just standing there. I didn't even get announced. I don't think they might have just said Gene Snitsky. Like they never said where I was from or nothing. It's just like there I was, and I'm like I'm thinking to myself, well, we're either gonna fucking hit a grand slam here, or or we're gonna fucking never get called back again. So I'm in my mind running everything through my head like what we're gonna do, and I remember Glenn saying to me, when you hit me with the chair, hit me as hard as you can and make it look good. And I was like, okay. And I trained with the Samoans, so I could do that. That was no problem. If you didn't hit somebody stiff with anything back in those days, they got rid of you real quick.
Especially around those two guys.
Yeah, and you're a bigger guy. If it looks like shit, you know how it is. They're not going to bring you back. So I'm thinking to myself in my head, I'm going to hit him as hard as I can. I'm remembering all the spots in the match, blah, blah, blah. So the time comes where I take the chair and I hit Glenn, and I'm like thinking to myself, well, here we go, baby. And I hit him as hard as I could. And the way he took that bump on Lita, man, amazing. Like, it looks so real. It was crazy. Like, he's amazing. Glenn's awesome, man. If I could have worked with anybody, it was like that would have been my first choice. So I was very lucky to do my first major storyline with him because he was awesome.
Yeah, he was a terrific human being and a great
just
worker.
A great guy.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that no one has anything bad to say about.
Yeah.
We always said if he ever goes off, he's probably going to kill everybody because he's such a nice guy. Like if he ever explodes and melts down, we're all in trouble.
Oh, he was always talking politics back then. So I was pretty pumped when I saw that he was the mayor down in Tennessee. I was like, yeah, I can see that coming.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
You want good guys that go into politics because they want to, not because they have to.
Right.
And that's Glenn. He's a smart guy. He's doing it, for all the right reasons. I don't care what you think about his politics. He's in there for the right reasons. He's in there because he's trying to make the place better.
Well, you know how it was back then, John. He could have easily ictionated and been like, "I don't like Snitsky. Get me somebody else."
That's right. He could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So
And was the storyline always planned to go on further? Or I was reading somewhere, doing some research for the show today, that it was a one off and it got extended. Was that right?
well, first off, I'd like to thank you for doing your due diligence on this interview today. But yeah, it was from what I was told afterwards. It was supposed to be a one-off deal, and then go back to OVW, and then go back to training. And I guess like I said, man, when I hit him and he fell in lead out, like instantly, baby killer chant started. And as a heel, that's what you want. So I'm thinking, oh, this is good. So I went back to Louisville. I don't want to say expecting to get called back, but I was, 70-30. I was expecting to, but 30%, maybe not. So I'm in the ring training at OVW, and this is a funny story, being that we're talking about it. I get back to OVW. I start training at the training center, and this was on Monday. I'm at class on Monday. Tommy Dreamer comes over to the ring, and he's like, "Snitsky, you got to go. You got to get a flight to Raw." I'm like, "The fuck you talking about? I'm not booked. Nobody booked me." "Well, no, they need you there. There's somebody effed up, and they never booked your travel." I'm like, "Well, hell, nobody told me. I didn't get no travel." He's like, "I know, you got to go." I'm like, "You're full of shit. You're ribbing me." He's like, "No, I'm telling you, Vince just called. You got to go." I'm like, "Is he fucking with me? Is he ribbing me, or is he serious?" And he, like, I could tell, like, he kept getting like, "No, you got to go." And I'm like, "Okay." So, like, I literally got out of the ring from a drill, ran back to my room, got my shit together, right to the airport. I don't think I even changed. I think I threw clothes on over top of my training stuff. Ran to the airport. I'm doing an OJ through the airport, trying to get to this gate. I'm soaked through my clothes. I get there. They're closing the door on the flight. I'm like, "I got to get on that flight. Don't shut the door." I got on that flight. Ironically, that flight was delayed leaving from Louisville, and I was catching a connection in Dallas. So I get to Dallas, and I call the office. I'm like, "Hey, I missed my connection. What would you like me to do?" Because as I said, I didn't have any travel. So calls me back, "Take the shuttle over to the private jet area. We're going to have the corporate jet come get you." I'm like,
Wow.
What?
"This is freaking great." So I'm over it. I'm like sitting there waiting for the WWE corporate jet to come. Here it comes. I'm like, "Is this really happening right now?"
Yeah.
Like, so I get
Are
on the
you the
corporate
only
jet,
one on the jet?
me and the writer and the stewardess lady, and that was it. And the pilot, obviously. So that was it. And I'm like, I'm from Nesquehoning, Pennsylvania, a small town of 3,000 people, and they're flying the corporate jet to come pick my ass up. I must be doing something right here. So
That's
I
awesome.
get to the show, they interview me, and that's when the infamous catchphrase started, because JR was interviewing me, and I just happened to say, like, "Well, it's not my fault she was in the ring. She shouldn't have been in the ring." And then I can remember Stephanie coming up to me, and she's like, "You say that every single interview. Don't Whenever, no matter what they say to you, say it's not my fault she was in the ring, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay." Like I said, I just never thought anything of it. It just happened. So now every day of my life, I probably hear it 20 times.
That's the best, though. I mean, that's how most things happen. Very few things happen by planned, "Hey, I'm going to say this. This is going to be cool. This will go viral."
Yeah.
Almost none of them happen that way. Nearly 100% of them happen organically, where you say something and it works, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden it becomes a catchphrase forever.
Yeah, because I could vividly remember Steph coming up to me and she's like, "Hey, Gino, whenever you're getting interviewed, say it's not my fault. Everything, no matter what." I'm like, "That's easy. I can do that."
That's easy.
So, yeah, that's kind of basically just how it all started. But that was so cool to get the freaking ride in the corporate jet, and like, I was eating like all the fancy fruit and stuff. I'm like, "Ooh, this is cool."
You didn't drink all of Vince's private wine stock, though, did you?
No. I had a nice sandwich though with some fruit cocktail or whatever the hell they called it. It was good.
Mr.
I wish
Briscoe
I had a camera back then, because those pictures would have been
Yeah,
pretty cool.
exactly.
Yeah. Mr. Briscoe one time drank all of Vince's private stock.
Was that on the plane flight from hell or no?
No,
It should have been.
Yeah, it could have been afterward. Yeah, for sure. No, that was after the Pensacola takeover with WCW.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
But Shane's the one that initiated it, so I got out
Yeah.
of that one. Shane got all the heat.
So basically, what you're saying was it wasn't your fault.
That's exactly what he
It
said.
wasn't my
Okay.
fault. Yeah.
There you go.
And is that when you're up there full time now with WWE?
Yeah, yeah. That's how it started, dude. That's the craziest story. Like, I still to this day can't believe how it all happened. It's just nuts. Like,
So you never had a tryout match.
no.
They flew you on the corporate plane because you missed a flight in Dallas.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden you're signed. That's a pretty cool start.
It's crazy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it all started, man. It's crazy.
And then the first storyline was the continuation with Lita and Glenn, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I, basically taunted her for 3, 4, 5 months till Glenn came back from doing his film. And then we had that. Well, we did the Taboo Tuesday fans choice weapon match where they got the vote on the weapon, and it ended up being the chain. So then I went over on Glenn there at that match to set up the return match in January at New Year's Revolution. So that was cool. My very first pay-per-view ever, which happened to be on my mom's birthday, and I beat Kane and then jumped him after the match and beat him up a little bit more. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, what was your thinking? I mean, here you are, you're a small town Pennsylvania guy, and all of a sudden you're working a pay-per-view. You just got off the corporate jet. You're working a pay-per-view with probably one of the guys you really looked up to as you were learning the business in Kane. I mean, we all have those feelings where we look across the ring, we see our opponent, and holy cow, I can't believe I'm here. Did you get some of those same emotions?
Yeah, it was. I mean, not to sound like cliche, but it was a dream come true. I always envisioned doing it, but then like when you actually do it, and it actually happens, you're like, man, all that hard work and all those trips for $20 and hopefully getting gas money and sleeping with 6 guys in a hotel room paid off.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, that's what I tell young guys when they ask me something about advice on a big match or something, and I'll say, listen, you guys are here because of your talent. I'm not going to tell you anything about your moves or what like that. All I'm going to tell you is take mental photographs when you walk out there because it's pretty cool to be out there in the main event. It's pretty cool to be out there in the WrestleMania. It's pretty cool to be out there in the pay-per-view and remember it. Because you want to remember that the rest of your life, and just take some time. Don't let it become a blur. Understand how cool that moment is, and just kind of look around and go, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll never forget my first WrestleMania. It was out in LA when we did the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood thing, and just like all the celebrities I got to meet and all the people I got to hang out with that were big wrestling fans that wanted to be hanging out with me, and I'm like, that's kind of cool. Like, like I was on stage for Ozfest. I know Zach Wilde. I was hanging out with ZZ Top, George Thorogood. Like you remember all the celebrities.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Oh yeah,
it was freaking great. Like they're all coming up to me like, "Hey, I'm a big fan." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Well, damn, I'm a pretty big fan of yours too."
I did an autograph session one time. Everybody's got different guys that they really look up to. Now he was taller than me, so I looked up to him. But you know what I'm talking about. But Ed Too Tall Jones, I grew up watching the Cowboys. It's all we had. We didn't have ESPN back then. We had one station. We had to watch the Cowboys. That was it. You had one game, and so I watched every one of Ed Jones games. I'm sitting there at a table with him one time signing autographs, and I'm so freaking nervous. I don't want to ask him for anything. But finally, at the end of it, he looks over and he goes, "Hey, John, can I get a picture for my office?" I said, "Yeah, and can I get a football and a helmet?" And take a picture? Yeah. I had every bit of a plan.
That's great.
I wish I would have done. Sometimes when you meet guys like that, they're fans of what we do, but it's hard to believe that because you're such a big fan of theirs.
Yeah, it's cool because I got to meet Ozzy and I took pictures with him. And when I was a 12-year-old, I would walk around with my boombox listening to Diary of a Madman. My very first concert was Bark at the Moon concert, 1985 at Stabler Arena, ironically. Motley Crue opened up for him. And there I am hanging out with him, taking pictures with him. I'm on stage for Ozfest. And I'm like, this is nuts. Like, this is the best thing ever. Like, I'm the 12-year-old inside me was like, ah.
Absolutely. That's pretty cool when it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's freaking great, dude. Like, of all things, you know. I was like, there's fucking Ozzy Osbourne right there, like 3 feet away from me. And there's 90,000 people in the crowd. And I'm just hanging out. Like, that
They
was
had
crazy.
one time where Dr. J, Julius Erving, had come around, and the Undertaker was like that. He, you could tell that was his guy. That was the one guy
That's
you
great.
looked up to. But I thought,
Well, he was a big basketball guy back in the day.
that's right.
Taker.
And I thought,
Yeah.
man, if Cool Hand Luke even sells for Dr. J, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, it was one of those pinch me, am I like sleeping, dreaming kind of things, you know? But because I would listen to Ozzy like so much, the words would rub off of the cassette. Remember back in the day, he'd play it so much that So it's crazy, like how things come full circle like that. It's nuts.
Yeah.
We saw you last in Indianapolis a couple of weeks ago, and we all signed some weird things. Have people brought baby dolls up for you to sign or anything like that? That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, I've signed a bunch of them. I've kicked a bunch of them. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm like I said earlier in the interview, I'm a class clown kind of guy, man. I don't give a shit. I'll do anything for a reaction. And you want to pay me money to kick a baby doll? I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Hey, do you bring the baby doll with you?
I sell little ones that I get at the dollar store.
Yeah.
I go and I buy all of them, and then I sell them at the show.
That is great.
Yeah.
I love that.
You could be like Shockmaster with the original baby that I kicked. I have about 20.
That's
of them,
right.
But that's the
We've
original one.
accused Shockmaster of selling the original helmet every single weekend.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and Mr. Curtis Hughes, he sells the original urn. We claim every weekend.
That's great. And I go to Dollar Tree and I buy every single one they got because they're $1.25. So the profit margin on those is quite healthy.
That is just. I got to get one of those for my office. That's
I'll be
awesome.
more than happy. I'll be more than happy to get one to you next time I see you.
That's great.
I'll gladly sign one for you.
Well, we got him a suplex dummy. He'll probably put it on the suplex dummy. That's the only thing he can suplex is the baby doll. He can't suplex.
Oh yeah, I got a Mr.
We call the dummy Bruce.
Dummy. The damn thing's too heavy to suplex.
Hey, we call it Bruce. We call it Bruce, by the way.
After Brother Love or what?
After Brother Love, exactly.
How did you guess that?
I told Mr. Brisco, I said, this damn thing's so heavy. He goes, yeah, it's Bruce.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I got it out of my garage. The damn thing wears me out. I can barely lift the damn thing.
That's
great. Looks so easy. It looks like easy to suplex these stupid little dummies. I looked it up on the YouTube, and this guy's just throwing this dummy all over the place. I thought, well, shit, I could do that.
Yeah.
No,
that's funny.
Can't.
Well, speaking of working out and just being strong and all, I don't want to brag, but John and I were the only ones working out at the gym at the hotel. I'm just saying.
Yes, we were.
Just saying.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
I was like, hey, John, let's get a photo. I'm like, we're the only fuckers in here.
That's right. And Gene was in there so long, I wanted to leave, but I thought, shit, I'm going to look bad if I came after Gene and left before him. So all I'm doing is trying to kill time until Gene leaves so I can sneak out right after him. So
because I didn't think you did yoga.
Yeah, that's right. Seconds after he left, I snuck out and went back to my room and had a Coke.
That's funny.
Hey, how was it working with a guy who I liked, a little bit crazy, Heidenreich?
Oh, John was great, man. I wish things would have worked out to where we could have, from what I was told afterwards, they were working towards a tag team, me and him against Glenn and Taker. So I don't know what happened along the way, but that never materialized, but that would have been pretty cool because we did some stuff. Like I ran out and interfered in the match and jumped Taker, and we beat him up for a little while, and Glenn came in for the save. So that was cool. But yeah, I loved working with him. We have a very interesting backstage segment. I'm sure you've seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people call it homoerotic, but I'm not a homo, so. But it has been referred to that.
It was really good.
But like I said, I'll do anything to get a reaction out of people. So when they told me to skit, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Well, they told us one day, said, what are we doing? Said, you're banging Howard Finkel. And I said, okay. And then literally that we'd won him in a poker game. And
oh my God.
Cost us the match. And they wanted to do like the deliverance scene where you're going to tell him to squeal like a pig.
Kind of like Michael Cole, right? where he pinned him up against
right.
it. Yeah.
And I tell you how little Ron cared. Ron came. He goes, "What are we doing?" I said, "I think we're banging Howard." He goes, "What segment?" That's all it was.
That's great.
He didn't give
Oh,
a
man.
shit. It's a work, it's the old deliberate, stupid Southern boy stuff.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah. No, like I said, man, I had fun with everything. Everything they gave me, I tried to make into the best I could make it. And, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And looking back on it, I wouldn't have changed a thing, man. I had too much fun.
Heidenreich did some stuff with me, a few things. He did stuff with Undertaker and me in our match, and he did a few other things. I liked John. I thought John was fun to be around.
I love John.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. We trained together at OVW for a while, and then we got on the road, and then he just kind of disappeared, man. I don't know if he had a mental breakdown or what, but he just kind of, yeah. I haven't seen him or heard from him in forever.
Yeah. That's the same thing. I hadn't heard anybody who said anything about him or anything about him.
Yeah. But he played pro football. He played pro football for the Saints.
Yeah, he was a good athlete.
Yeah.
Good.
So, I mean, the
strong guy.
Yeah, he had his chops. I mean, but you know how it was back then. Like you'd see a guy on a Monday and not see him on Friday. I mean, they just went through so many guys.
That's right. Yeah.
You could see a guy on Monday and sometimes not see him on Tuesday too. So they were coming in and out at that time pretty quick.
I've seen a lot of guys come and go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of guys you never loaned money to because you might not see them again. That was the old thing. Don't loan them any money. They may not be here a while.
Gorilla Monsoon always had a quote. Hey, Gorilla, who's that guy? Don't worry. Don't commit his name to memory. He's not going to be here long.
That's funny.
Sure enough, the next day he was gone.
That's great.
It's like the old NFL coaches that would call you by your number. You knew you were absolutely fucked if they called you by your number.
Well, I remember going to camp with the Chargers, and you didn't even have a number. They just put your name on the helmet, and they'd have to look at your helmet to see who the hell you were.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
It was such a factory. I saw a guy get cut at the Raiders. I think he faked a hamstring injury is what happened. I really think that's what happened because he knew he was going to get cut.
He was trying to get on the IR.
Yeah, and I'm almost positive because I was there when he, So they said, "Well, go run a warm up lap and we'll talk to you afterwards." They filmed him on the warm up lap and cut him because they had him running
Idiot.
Yeah,
common sense isn't very common, John.
That's right. So after WWE, I mean, did you decide that you went to TNA? You did a few other things. Did you enjoy some of the time afterwards? You still enjoyed being in the wrestling business afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to parlay it into some acting stuff. I co-produced, co-starred, stunt coordinated, wrote a horror movie called 100 Acres of Hell. We actually won the Best Horror Feature Film Award at the Philadelphia Film Festival for it. And it's on Amazon and all that stuff to this day. I was very proud of that. Worked really hard on that project. And did some like ABC What Would You Do's. I did a couple episodes on there and some other independent films here and there. But just I always wanted to do football, wrestling, and acting. They were like my three things I always wanted to get to some point in my life of achieving, NFL, WWE, Hollywood. So, just stuff like bucket list stuff, So I've kind of put my resources towards that and energy towards that and started doing that and was fortunate enough to be, pretty successful with that stuff too. So, it's one of those things, man. You have a dream, you chase it. A lot of people don't get to live out their dreams, and I got to live out a lot of my dreams. So I can't complain.
I saw on your Wikipedia, thing, the filmography, you had quite a few film credits. You did a great job with that. Are you not doing any more films, or are you just kind of taking what you want?
I kind of pick and choose what I want, but like now, with the shop and stuff, we kind of gear everything towards the shop, and then whatever extra time or if I have availability, then I'll do other stuff. So
yeah.
But, the shop's pretty much the priority right now, but no pun intended. Priority one surplus.
Tell us a little bit about your shop there. I know we touched on it before we got on air here, but
we call it Priority One Surplus. It's in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, 1744 Tilden Ridge Drive in Hamburg, and sell survival gear, food items, medical items, ammo, mags, clothing, boots, knives.
How did you get into that business, sir?
A buddy of mine started it with his son back in the day, and I was kind of getting done doing the film stuff, and he asked me if I wanted to get involved, and I said, sure, I'll give it a shot, see how it is. And 9 years later, here we are, and we moved. We're at the new location now. We're at this new location for 5 years now. We moved over here in March of 20 during COVID, but we deemed ourselves essential and we stayed open. So,
is your father in business with you, or what's the deal there?
No, my dad passed away, unfortunately,
Yeah,
and my mom's still around, but my dad passed away, and my brother passed away too. He was in the honor guard. He was in the old guard in the army. So we do a patch board. We got a patch board here at the shop, so we collect patches from all the units and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
yeah, you introduced us earlier to some of the guys. Are most of the guys you hire veterans, or mostly all of them?
yeah, they're all former military guys.
That's great.
Airborne guys, mostly all airborne guys.
Oh.
And then John's son Jonathan is a Army Ranger.
Have you seen any uptick as far as what's going on in society with what goes on with your store?
It's very depending on the situation. Obviously, we sell ammo, so we do notice like an uptake in ammo sales whenever something happens, per se. And then we did sell a lot of Trump stuff. We're staunch Republicans here, so we like our Trump guy, and it's like anything else in retail. It's cyclical, but definitely with the politics and the way the world is these days, it reflects back.
Getting political here, but do you notice the difference when there's different parties and office that how your business goes, or is it?
Oh yeah, when Biden was in office, we tended to have a lot more like, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not like hysteria, but like more people worrying about like, what's that?
Preparation.
Yeah, more preparation. Like we've got a lot more preppers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
were people buying stuff because they were worried about a more intrusive government, probably because
definitely.
Democrat being in power?
Yep. Yeah, we noticed a lot of that. Yep.
It's just interesting to me. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like we always like mention like if there's sadly if there's a mass shooting or something, we tend to sell more ammo because people want to be, protected.
Right.
Self-defense type things. So and we sell we sell stun guns, we sell pepper spray, we sell batons, like all that kind of stuff. Notice a lot more of those being sold, like, something happens.
Right.
I guess when there's news come out that there's a ban on certain items, does your ammunition, do you have trouble getting ammunition? I got a couple of friends here in Tampa that tell me they can't keep it in the store. It goes out to
Well, there was a thing there with the Russian, the AK ammo. So we started moving more AK ammo because it's going to be, they lowered the production of it and it's getting harder to get. So we started selling more AK ammo, but I mean, honestly, we sell a lot of ammunition in general. So
a lot of hunting in your area though.
Yeah, we're in a hotbed of like 2A, Second Amendment type stuff, and hunters, fishing, outdoors people. We sell tents, we sell hammocks, we sell sleeping bags. So we kind of try to cover all the bases.
And it kind of helps, knowing where you are in the country. Like in Texas, their drivers are better because everybody's got a gun.
Well, I mean, pretty much everybody I know has guns, not a gun, but guns.
Right, right.
And not just a couple hundred rounds of ammo, but like couple 100,000 rounds of ammo.
Our dear friend, the Godfather. I was out in Vegas with him a year or so ago, and he wanted me to go out in the desert shoot rounds. I said, "How many rounds do you shoot?" He said, "Thousands." I said,
Oh yeah,
"Hey, you
yeah. We
lift out-
sell it.
where
We
do you
sell it
where
in
do you
bulk.
where you keep all those rounds?" He said, "In my garage, I got a safe that's about the size of my garage inside of."
Oh
He
yeah,
said, I'll be one of those guys one day that you hear on the news. Yeah, Charles Wright was busted. He had 5,000 guns and 50,000
yeah.
rounds in ammunition, or 40,000 rounds in ammunition. That's what he told me.
Oh, that's the beauty of America.
40,000 rounds, man.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the United States, man. You're free to do whatever you choose, and Pennsylvania is a pretty big state when it comes to ammo and guns and protecting your rights and your property and self-defense and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, everybody, like I said, everybody I know has several guns, thousands upon thousands of rounds of ammo, and we like to shoot, we like to hunt, we like to fish. It's the beauty of America.
Yeah, it is. People can do whatever they want. I
Yeah.
completely agree. And,
Yeah.
one of the reasons, that Japan never thought they would invade America was because they said everybody's got guns.
Yeah. And like I said previously, when we took our trip over to Afghanistan, man, just to see the way those guys sacrificed for our rights and to be able to do that is an honor to go and perform for those guys, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to be able to go over there and see those guys.
I got a really cool picture of you and I think it's me, you, Trish Stratus, Chris Masters, standing as the general was showing us the big map on the table. Remember that?
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah, I still have that picture, and I show the guys all I'm like, this is from my trip to Afghanistan. So, yeah, I pretty much talk about it on a weekly basis because it was just such a great trip, man. I mean,
It was.
And thank you once again for starting that, because without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So
yeah, that was pretty cool. It's pretty cool what WWE did, and all the talent, all the talent, and friends did. It was really
that was great.
Cool thing.
That was awesome. I have a couple pictures of when we stopped to refuel and they opened up that bar for us in Germany.
Yeah.
Everybody's eyes were like, hey.
That's right. Bar.
Yeah. You're gonna open a bar for us? Sure.
It's 4 a.m. We don't care.
Yeah. We don't need an excuse to drink.
That's right. Well, Gene, hey, thank you so much for joining us. It's always so good to see you. You always bring a smile to my face when I get to see you, and you always you always have something funny to say, which you did last time as well. I won't repeat it. A little bit obscene, but it was. I found a lot of humor in it.
Well, I appreciate that, and like I said, man, I got the utmost respect for you. I'm honored to have worked with you, and I had a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times, a lot of good trips. And Mr. Brisco as well. Always a pleasure, always an honor.
Thank you.
You guys were awesome to work with, and there's a lot of stories we can't tell. We'll keep those locked up in the memory bank for now.
Yes, we will.
Thank you so much, Gene, for coming on.